This is the LEGO Star Wars ARC-170 Starfighter from 2005, set number 7259, and it came with only 396 pieces to create a full ARC-170 Starfighter. Figure-wise, just to get this out of the way, you get 3 clone pilots, which are pretty inaccurate, but also pretty cool if you're into the 2005 style of clone trooper, along with an R5-D4 figure or just a red astromech, depending on how you want to look at it. He has been used as both. And I personally really like these clone troopers. They're very simple, but they fit the classic LEGO Star Wars style very well. I like them, and I also really like that you get 3 of them in the set. So I think that's something this does better than the 2010 ARC-170, where one of the figures was Kit Fisto, whereas here you get 3 clones to pilot the clone Starfighter. As for the set itself, it's a pretty simple build, which I think you can expect from a 2005 model, but honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. I mean, it's definitely dated. Like, you can see that the wings are only like 1 plate thick in most places. The underside here is incredibly hollow. There is just no support there for anything on the side. The area right by the wings connecting it to the main fuselage is very bare bones. Like, it definitely looks its age. This looks like a set from 2005. There's a lot of just empty studs. There's not a lot of detailing short of some printed pieces. But I think that it holds up fairly well. I mean, keep in mind, I am a fan of this era of LEGO Star Wars, so I enjoy this style. Probably more than most, at least more than like people who've gotten into LEGO more recently. But I still think that this looks like an ARC-170 Starfighter and looks pretty good given its age. I think what holds the build of this set back is that it is very fragile, especially considering that this is supposed to be a toy. So just to give you some of the highlights, these things on the front where I showed you that there are no supports, they're only attached by 2 studs. That's very easy to come off. There are tiles right in here that are very easy to pull off on both sides. The engines right here, they come off without anything. They're not attached by anything other than 4 studs, so those are coming off without much effort. This gun back here is only on 2 studs, but it's pretty sturdy, but definitely could come off with some effort. The guns over here aren't exactly sturdy, and I actually knocked off the tip of one while recording this video, completely unintentionally, so those can come off pretty well. And the front cockpit here, which I'll get into more later, but see, it came off fine that time, but what it's attached to is only attached by like 2 studs, so this can come off a lot. So just to give you an idea, this is just some of the fragile pieces of the set. So this is really where the build shows its age. I think it still looks pretty good, but it definitely is not the most sturdy thing in the world. As for details, I think the set actually does a pretty good job. There's a lot of printed pieces. There aren't any stickers in this set. So this piece right here is printed. The engines are printed. These like little, not windshields, but part of the cockpit, those are both printed. There's one on each side. There's some printed detail on the back here, which I'll show you a bit more later. And then there's a printed one of these on either side. So I like the prints. I think they really help add a little bit more detail to the set, and I just like how they look. So as for interior details, like I showed you before, this cockpit can come up, and there's nothing there. This pilot gets absolutely nothing but a little ridged brick in the back. But the clone does fit perfectly fine. All you have to do is rip his legs off. He just fold his legs, put his arms up a little bit, and then he should be able to fit in right there. And there you go. You got a clone in the front with absolutely no controls. He's just chilling. He's having a good time. And then honestly, my favorite part of the ARC is probably this middle section here, because these 2 cockpits are actually hinged, so that's a lot easier than the front one. And then the sides move, which reveals just a decent amount of space, given what it is. But it reveals a pretty nice interior where you can see we have a printed control panel there. There's the same one in the front. There's storage for 2 blasters, and then space for the astromech droid. So putting the clones in here, you just have to do this about the same thing. They just fit in right there. And then you take the other one, which there we go. And he fits in right there. And then the astromech droid, I just like to turn the head so he's looking forward. And he just sits on 2 jumper plates right in the middle. There we go. And then you just have to raise the sides up, and then you close these hatches, And there you go. Now the ARC-170 is fully crewed and ready to fly into battle. I think the only real flaw here is that there's some pretty serious gapping underneath the cockpit pieces here, as well as underneath here because it needs space to hinge open, so there's just gaps here. So these clones are getting sucked out into space whether they like it or not. As for the back, this turret is not very good, but like I said, I'm a fan of this era of LEGO Star Wars, so I kind of like it. And the prints here are actually very nice. This is a very high quality print, especially for its day, and you get 2 of them mirrored on each side. And there should be a second one of these cannons underneath right here, but they just did not care enough to try. They did put it on the 2010 ARC-170, but it is absent here. Play features wise, there are really 2, I mean 3 if you count interior space, or maybe 4 of the turret, but there's really 2 like functions with the set, and those are both operated out of this very subtle gear right here. So the first one is a bomb dropping function, which is going to happen up at the front here, so just don't mind the hand, but you just pull this back, and it's just 2 little cylinder pieces that drop out. And the way you reload this is another gap just right in the front of the ship, right behind this front cockpit, and you just drop them in like that, and that resets the mechanism. And the other feature that this is tied to is the S-foils opening, and this is a very slow and painful process. And it just, like, it doesn't snap like newer X-Wing models do. It's just a very slow rotation. You can see the little ball elements there are what push it. And I mean, it does look pretty cool once you have that up, and it looks nice. The only issue is that you see this flimsy wing right here. That shouldn't have happened. But yeah, the only issue is that you can't put it down like this, which is why I'm holding it, so excuse the arm again. But yeah, you need like a stand underneath. Clear bricks are obviously ideal, but I mean, you can obviously use whatever you want. But you can't display it without any bricks underneath, which is a little annoying, but it does make sense since I don't know how you would build this so that wouldn't happen. And the only other issue here is that this rubber band thing, which is to keep this in place with the other feature, is that sometimes, like, if this is pushed too far in or you're grabbing this too tightly, this can want to spin too, which causes issues with the rubber band, and it just makes the whole feature a lot more annoying. But honestly, for its day, it's not bad. You can see I just retracted the wings right there, and now I can place the ARC-170 down. So they're not bad features, they're just a little rudimentary, but for 2005, I mean, what else do you expect? I broke off like 3 different sections of the build, moving it for this shot, so that gives you an idea of how stable it is. But instruction-wise, it's the old style of instructions. I mean, we have like the little piece boxes up here, but you can see like just the weird backgrounds that they used to throw in. It's pretty cool. But flipping to the back here, where is it? Here we go. You can see that here they're showing the play features that I just showed you, and then here they're showing alternate builds, which I don't know what it's supposed to be. That's like a freaking tank right there. This is just a weird Starfighter, which actually doesn't look that bad. Again, it really fits 2005 LEGO Star Wars pretty well. And then, oh, this is so nice. I miss the ads in the back of the instruction manual like this. This is 2005 LEGO Star Wars. This is the original Episode 3 wave, and these sets are all so cool. I really want that turbo tank. The Wookiee sets are really nice too. This tank droid is really strange. I don't understand the color schemes that they chose there. The General Grievous wheel bike is such a cool set. It's just cool to be able to see this stuff in the back. I really like these old ads. Lego Club, that used to be a thing. Discover the Lego Universe. They were really pushing their online stuff at this time. You know, Lego Shop at Home. I don't think they really call it that anymore. But it's just pretty cool. And then this was before the Win Kids, so it just says Win with some Lego sets right here. And I wonder if they'd still let you do that. I don't know. But yeah, that's the instructions. It's pretty cool. An ad for LEGO Star Wars, the video game, on the back. Not even the complete saga yet. We're not there yet. This is 2005. This is the first LEGO Star Wars game right here on the back. So this is one of 2 minifigure scale ARC-170s LEGO has made. This one was 2005, second one was 2010. We haven't had one since. Real shame. But I unfortunately don't have that 2010 model to compare this to. All I have is the 2015 Microfighter. So just putting these next to each other, I feel like 2005 has a beat in just about every way. This one just does not really compare to this. You can see you only have space for 1 minifigure, no astromech droid. Got some pink engines on the back, which I kind of like. A little bit of playability right here. You can move the S-foils too, but no mechanism. But yeah, that's the comparison part of this video. Just got this. It's a little dinky, but you know, it's an ARC-170, so I appreciate it. So that is the LEGO Star Wars ARC-170 Starfighter from 2005. That's a mouthful and a half. I personally think this is still a pretty cool set, but like I said, I'm kind of partial to this era of LEGO Star Wars. I grew up watching like the 501st Legion LEGO Star Wars stop motions, so I always saw like this old style of clone trooper doing really cool things in those stop motions. So you know, I just kind of grew attached to this era of LEGO Star Wars, even though I wasn't collecting when these sets were out in stores. But I have gone back, gotten quite a few of these clone troopers, gotten some of these sets as you can see, and still want to get more. So you know, as a set, I think it's still pretty good as a playset. Please don't buy it, it's so fragile, do not touch this thing. But as a display model for a collector, I think it's good to go back and get. Used, this will typically run you like about $100, a little bit more. If you want a sealed copy, that's like $300 minimum, so maybe don't do that. But just buying like a good condition used copy of the set isn't a bad idea if you're a collector, a fan of Episode 3, fan of this era LEGO Star Wars. I recommend it, but if you do want like a better ARC-170 model, definitely go for the 2010 version, because this is really flimsy. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say on this set. This wasn't so much a review, just kind of a fun little look back at what LEGO Star Wars used to be like. I really wish we would get a newer ARC-170, since it has been since 2010. But, you know, maybe for like the 20th anniversary of Episode 3, we'll get a new one. But seeing as they did nothing for Episode 1 or Episode 2, I don't really have high hopes there. But, you know, man can dream. So if you guys enjoyed this little look back at a piece of LEGO history, a like is very much appreciated, really helps out the video and the channel. And feel free to leave a comment as well with your thoughts on this ARC-170. Do you have it? Do you like it? What do you think of the build? Do you think it holds up? And do you want a new ARC-170 as badly as I do? Let me know in the comments. And if you really enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I upload LEGO content pretty infrequently, but I still upload. So definitely make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you never miss when a new video finally pops up. And that will about do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.